put on lipstick. No, I'm only kidding.
I keep bouncing in and out of the draft again. A little stressful. This may be the year.
I like my first two picks, honestly. Najee Harris, Alvin Kamara. I think Alvin Kamara falling in the second round. That's huge as long as he doesn't get suspended for beating up some guy. Would be solid.
Did he deserve it, though?
The guy or Alvin Kamara?
The guy.
Yes.
I feel like they're probably a great group of boys. They seem like they love sports, and I think that they'll really fit with my mentality as a general manager.
Who's your favorite pick so far?
The first one.
What about them?
I love how much they love the game. You can see it in the way they play. Their passion just bursts out on the field, and I love that for them.
Do I have a favorite player? Well, I always pick my Tom Brady. I think he might be my go-to man this year.
How are we feeling so far?
Yay!
Good.
Yay, Tori!
I mean, I'm doing good. I got who I wanted for a whole bunch of spots, but
I'm doing all right.
He's struggling.
Who's your favorite pick, Emily?
Oh, I got Herbert.
I'm quite pleased with it so far. I've got a couple of great running backs and a couple of great wide receivers. And of course, my quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. And not to mention, I have Henry by the two. I got Derrick Henry and Hunter Henry. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Last year I said I'm the most confident I've ever been, and I didn't win, so I'm feeling pretty unconfident.
Who are you least confident about?
Let's look. I took a risk with Dameon Pierce, so I'm hoping that'll pan out, but you never know.
I'm happy about the weather for now. I'm just hoping Juju Smith-Schuster actually does great on the Kansas City Chiefs, along with everyone else. And hopefully that the Detroit Lions actually win some games this year.
I feel okay. I was picked 13 of 14. I was kind of aiming for Devontae Adams, so I ended up with him. Coming back, got DeAndre Swift. I don't know if that's a great pick, but I needed a running back, so we'll see what happens. I finished first seed back-to-back years, came in third both times, so I'm going to give myself zero expectations this year, and it should work out for me.
They'll all be injured and down. I'll go gangbusters till week 6, 7, 8. By 10, the wheels will fall off the bus, and I'll move from 3rd place to 7th to 11th, and then finally into 12th, probably. That's what I predict.
I think it's going to be a great year. I'm pumped up, and it's going to be good. Auto draft, yes.
When I talk to my family and all my lovely nephews and son, they always say, don't draft a quarterback early. I'm just going to push back there.
3, 2, 1.
Andy Cohen will be proud of you.
Can we get a football chant going?
Football.
Got it.
I'm very pleased with my team. It's early in the season. You never know who's going to have opportunities with illness, injuries, things like that. But I had the #1 pick this year, and that's a good place to be in. And I'm very happy to have Kyler Murray as my quarterback again in Arizona. I had him before, and I was very pleased with him. So I'm feeling good.
The 2022 Toilet Bowl champion was a top-shelf disaster. Fantasy Feet number 7 season was marred with controversial roster moves, along with some bad luck. Her first overall pick, Jonathan Taylor, missed multiple weeks with injury, but the most shocking moment of the season was when she dropped Taylor right before he returned to action, a move that the commissioner vetoed. Her other top pick, Keenan Allen, also missed time, and was also dropped by Mamie right before he returned to health. Despite being at the bottom of the standings the entire season, Mamie had an easy chance to escape the Toilet Bowl, needing just 2 points from quarterback Kyler Murray and having Winky's Warriors take home the trophy. A Monday night shocker led to Murray tearing his ACL on the opening drive of the game. which meant he did not get 2 points, giving Mamie her first ever Toilet Bowl championship. And after 2 straight seasons coming in second to last place, there was no avoiding what's been circling for years. Here to present the Toilet Bowl trophy is 2021 winner, Sam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud to pass off the Toilet Bowl. I believe once again, I seem to win this, and I'm on the wrong end of the stick, shall we say. It's been an interesting year. I actually had an okay year, but then a couple of injuries kind of killed me, and I just couldn't get it together, and I was kind of towards the bottom. The dirty bottom. But I did not win this year. So I would like to say with great pleasure that I will be passing this off to my lovely older sister, Mary Migra. Mary, it is with great pleasure that I pass the toilet bowl to you. A few words, please.
Thank you, Sam. Well, this is such a great honor to receive this award. I have been trying to win it for many years. I am frequently in the bottom, and I am very glad that it came to fruition this year. I had a rough year, even though I had the #1 pick and I had a good team going in. I had injuries, Taylor. It was a big disappointment, and I had some technical difficulties throughout the year, and it was just tough. It was tough. So, that's what it is.
All right. So we just like to say we actually both are retired this year, so we will never be winning the toilet bowl again. My knees and hips just gave out. I can't do it anymore. I'm getting old for FAMtasy football. Back to you, Commish. Have a great year.
So far, feeling pretty good. Going for that 3-peat. Rock on.
Who's your favorite player?
I think value-wise, Christian McCaffrey. Pick 6. Going #1 in a lot of drafts. So he can't beat that value.
You got CMC at pick 6?
Yes, I did.
What?
He did.
That tells you all.
He did.
Wait, what?
History repeats itself again for the 2022 FAMtasy Football Champion. Max chose an unconventional way to glory, starting his season 0-5. At that point, he was in 14th place, but made his climb up the standings once Christian McCaffrey was traded to the 49ers. Max only lost 2 more games the entire season, and was carried by some amazing players, including Josh Jacobs, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and George Kittle. He also embraced his role as the villain, as he was part of the Jonathan Taylor controversy, which led to his new team name. The Villains ended up as the #6 seed and defeated both of his brothers, Carter and Will, on his way to a FAMtasy Bowl rematch with Kelly Cat. They were both fighting to become the league's first 3-time champion, but the fantasy season came to a shocking conclusion when Bills safety Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest during Monday Night Football. The league called the game, and the Fantasy League decided to put an asterisk on the nameplate to signify the incomplete week of play. Max becomes the first 3-time champion, going back to back to back. And now, your league commissioner.
Hello, and welcome to the 2022 FAMtasy Football Trophy presentation. I am your commissioner, Mike Davies. And what a crazy year it was. With the addition of 14 teams total, J-Man was the top dog and was eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, which meant it was anyone's game. Cue in the 0-5, 2-time champion, back-to-back, 800s, turned villains. This man made his way in, and the rest is history. So without further ado, from worst to first, let's bring in 800s turned the villains, Max Migra.
Hey, Michael.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
I'd present the trophy to you, but it's been yours for 2 years, so what's the difference?
Yeah, it's true. It has been in my house, in my possession for the last 2 years, so I've gotten quite comfortable.
So just have it.
Thank you.
it was a weird year because mainly how it ended. That's the first question. The fact of the whole DeMar Hamlin situation in that Bills-Bengals game impacting the Gabe Davis situation. What were your thoughts like as that was happening? Like, it was a weird championship. What would you say?
So I think first of all, I just want to say I'm happy DeMar Hamlin's okay. That was kind of a scary situation. I was actually at work when it happened, so I was getting a lot of text messages being like, you know, typical like stupid friend stuff. Oh my God, some dude just died on the football field. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? So I looked and I saw what went on, and I was just, at first I was taken aback, and then nothing really went through my head about fantasy football wise because I didn't really think much of it. Most of the time when that kind of stuff happens, the game goes right back into play. And when they finally announced that the game was going to be postponed, then I started to think, oh, okay, well, how's this going to work? Because we got a championship match, and my opponent had a player in that game. So, it was kind of important. I knew I had a fairly comfortable lead anyways, so I wasn't worried anyways going into it, per se, but I didn't know what was going to go on. And then I know behind the scenes, me and Kelly were kind of texting in a group chat, kind of figuring out what we were going to do. There were a few options on the table. One of them was being patient, waiting to see what the NFL was going to do. And then we were going to talk about, were we going to maybe take Gabe Davis's points from the next week? Would they play the game? Would we count that? Would we just call it there because of the point difference anyways? What was the likelihood that Gabe Davis was going to make up those points? As it wasn't like he was, it wasn't Stephon Diggs or Josh Allen or anything like that. Gabe Davis is good, but you never know. And then we finally came up with the conclusion to please everyone. We called that it was going to be my game, but I would have to deal with an asterisk. Just not necessarily saying that the win wasn't real, but that the last game didn't have a final conclusion.
Yeah, it was a bizarre ending, and I think we kind of came to agreeable terms. Like, maybe he could have, maybe he couldn't have, but at least this is kind of a way of like cementing that.
Yep.
But in general, past that situation, so glad DeMar Hamlin's playing again. Surely that'll end well for him. The fact that you came back from an 0-5 start, apparently your back-to-back championship hangover was a little too extreme, to say the least.
Way too extreme for me.
And the fact that we went from 14 teams with 8 playoff teams, and you ended up with the 6th seed. Like, what was your thought process starting 0-5? How did you ever think you were going to be able to make the playoffs, let alone win the whole dang thing?
I don't think I was worried until I hit 0-5, and obviously the adding of the teams, the 2 teams, and us going much controversially to no-bye and 8 league teams, playoff teams. I knew that I didn't necessarily have to. I think if I had done 0-5, if I had gone 0-5 and we had just the regular 6, I know I finished in the 6th seed, but I think if we had gone 0-5, I think I would have been much more worried. It's much harder. You got much more lower margin of error. With that, but I knew I could potentially sneak in with 7 and 8. I also knew I couldn't lose another game, I could lose another game with some help. But if I wanted to control my own destiny, I knew I had to win out. So it was scary for a little bit. Every week was kind of holding your breath. You know what I mean? Nothing really crazy. I didn't really try to like. There were some nights where I sleeplessly was looking at the waiver wire being like, can I add this person? Will this make a difference? But just, my normal nerves. I definitely knew I was in dire straits. Couldn't really afford to lose. But I knew there was a possibility, and as someone who's been in those first couple seeds and lost to lower seeds, I know you just got to make the playoffs. That's really all that matters.
Yeah, and true. Technically, because we added the 2 seeds, 6 still would have played 3.
Yep.
So technically, what you did as a 6 seed still would have worked out. But one last question about the playoffs. Going against Kelly, who both of you at the time were the last 4 champions. Kelly back-to-back, Max back-to-back, fighting for that first person to 3. Do you have anything to say to Kelly just in a hard-fought match going for that third title and you ultimately winning it?
I think to Kelly, she did a great job. She is consistently in the finals or in, like you said, or in the semifinals. She builds a very good team, and I think she's gotten better as it's gone on. She's paying more attention. I think just being naturally closer to you as the commish has helped her. Just hearing you blabber on sometimes. Hearing us talk.
But where are my results?
We
will get there.
You will always have that inaugural
Where's
champion.
that Bud Light? Sorry, continue.
Yeah, you will always have that inaugural champion.
Yeah.
But
a hard-fought match.
It was a hard-fought match. I also think it was kind of poetic. She was my first that I had lost to her. And so that it was to beat her to become that. Us facing each other, like you said, the last 4 dominant championships, to be that first to 3 was kind of, I think, poetic.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a great matchup to say the least. Just one last question. We just want to check in on the trophy. I know our guys' ACLs are wearing quite thin.
Oh yeah.
So, but how is everything going? No fault of your own. He's doing great. But how has it been?
It's been good. I honestly haven't really taken it anywhere because I am terrified to be the person to break it.
You're allowed. You can do whatever you want.
I know. But I'm terrified to put him in that suitcase to make him travel and to open the suitcase and to have him be just smashed. I definitely don't want that. So
I will say the NFL stands for not for long, and we know that you are allowed to do whatever you want. No matter what, it's okay. No matter. I'm on camera saying this is not your fault, so you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
So have fun with it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say? I feel like it's a three in a row. I feel like there's not much to
3 in a row is pretty great. I think changing the narrative in my fantasy football career from being 0-2 to now 3-2, huge. Getting the monkey off my back with that first time, and now just continuing my success. I wouldn't say dominant because I was terrible last year. I don't know how I won. I'll be real.
Yeah.
But I just want to shout out Amazon for Amazon Prime real quick. 2-day delivery, $10. 3-time fantasy football championship. Ordered it 2 days ago. Got here last night at 8 p.m. Just in time.
My sayings are always thank God and thank Jeff Bezos.
Thank Jeff Bezos.
And one minor quick question. Can you let somebody else win?
No.
All right. I tried. We'll see what happens next year. 2023 is a new year. Max, even as an 0-2 person in the finals, you've really overcome that to become a 3-2, 3 in a row. It's really unprecedented, and I really have so much respect for you.
Thank you, sir.
So congrats. That'll do it for now because we have some business to get to in 2023. So
some creepy business.
It's gonna get ugly. Take care, everyone. I'm Coach Davies. See ya.